In this epoch defined by incessant cacophony, it is remarkably effortless to succumb to a feeling of being utterly overwhelmed. Each passing moment assaults us with a barrage of auditory and visual stimuli, telephones vibrate incessantly, screens emit a constant flickering light, and the world clamors relentlessly for our undivided attention. This unyielding stimulation can, in effect, leave us with the sensation of gradually dissolving into an ocean of perpetual chatter and the pervasive din of the digital realm. But, imagine for a moment, if I were to reveal to you that the clandestine key to reclaiming command of your life resides not in the relentless pursuit of more, but rather in the deliberate and thoughtful embrace of less. The venerable Stoics of antiquity, figures such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, achieved mastery of this very art millennia ago. They imparted to us the profound understanding that authentic strength does not emanate from reflexively reacting to each and every external stimulus, but rather from the conscious and deliberate selection of what to concentrate our attention upon and, crucially, when to deliberately choose to remain silent. You possess dominion over your mind, not external occurrences, Marcus Aurelius penned, thereby reminding us that genuine serenity invariably commences with an inner stillness, a profound quietude within. Today, we embark on a comprehensive exploration into the compelling reasons why the strategic reduction of mental clutter and superfluous discourse can fundamentally metamorphose your existence. We shall delve into 7 potent advantages that accrue from cultivating the practice of thinking with greater discernment, speaking with increased deliberation, and focusing your mental energies with heightened intensity. These are not merely fleeting life hacks, but rather profound alterations that hold the potential to usher in an era characterized by augmented tranquility, more profound wisdom, and enduring, sustainable success. In essence, we are talking about a fundamental shift towards a more mindful and deliberate way of living, unlocking a reservoir of inner peace and effectiveness that lies dormant within each of us, awaiting activation through the conscious adoption of these Stoic principles. Therefore, join us as we navigate this transformative journey towards a more centered, focused, and ultimately, more fulfilling life. And bear in mind, should you find value in our endeavors here, would simply request a small, yet freely given, act of support, kindly activate that subscribe button. Do not, under any circumstances, skip ahead in this video. Remain with me, and together we shall explore the profound ways in which embracing the Stoic philosophy can aid you in reclaiming your inner tranquility and asserting dominion over your own existence. Benefit 1: Diminishing stress and alleviating anxiety. Have you ever experienced that overwhelming sensation, as if your mind were a tempestuous vortex of anxieties and incessant, what-if, scenarios? It is, without a doubt, utterly draining, isn't it? However, consider this illuminating perspective, gleaned directly from the venerable Stoic handbook. Perhaps the true pathway to reducing stress does not lie in amplified contemplation, but rather in diminished rumination. Esteemed Stoics, such as Epictetus, wisely instructed us that it is not the occurrences themselves which unduly perturb us, but rather our individual interpretations and subjective assessments of these occurrences. Therefore, by consciously choosing to concentrate less on the cacophony of external stimuli and more on those elements over which we possess genuine agency and influence, we can, in turn, begin to perceive a tangible and highly significant transformation in our prevailing stress levels. When we purposefully and actively resolve to curtail our mental clutter, a truly remarkable phenomenon ensues: our minds are afforded a much-needed respite. Reflect upon this analogy. If your mind were akin to a web browser burdened with dozens upon dozens of open tabs, each tab representing a distinct worry or a fleeting thought, would not the act of closing a substantial number of these tabs invariably contribute to improved overall performance and enhanced efficiency? Thus, by selectively minimizing the incessant mental noise, we empower ourselves to navigate the complexities of life with greater equanimity and unwavering resilience. That's fundamentally what we are accomplishing when we consciously decide to ruminate less on matters beyond our sphere of influence. Essentially, we're closing the superfluous mental tabs that clutter our minds. We deliberately choose not to interact with each and every ephemeral thought that crosses our mental landscape. This act of conscious detachment is crucial for mental well-being. And speaking of diminishing our cognitive load, it's not merely about reducing the sheer volume of thoughts, but rather prioritizing their quality. It is not about stifling thoughts altogether, instead, it's about skillfully directing them towards productive avenues. Picture it as tending a garden. You nurture the desirable plants, allowing them to flourish, while diligently extracting the weeds that threaten to choke them. If a particular thought offers no benefit or pertains to something beyond your control, why permit it to occupy valuable mental real estate? When we streamline our thought processes, concentrating solely on actionable and constructive thoughts, the burden weighing on our shoulders significantly diminishes. This approach is profoundly rooted in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, which places considerable emphasis on cultivating resilience and emotional mastery through the application of rational thinking. By diligently practicing these Stoic principles, you can systematically train your mind to maintain a state of tranquil composure, even in circumstances that would typically induce stress or anxiety. It's about reacting to life's inevitable challenges with a composed demeanor and a lucid mind, as opposed to succumbing to panic or despair. This approach transcends mere stress reduction. It fundamentally reshapes our perception of challenges, transforming what initially appear as insurmountable mountains into manageable hurdles that can be overcome with focused effort. This transformation is a pivotal aspect of achieving inner peace. Benefit 2: Amplifying calmness and serenity. It is truly captivating to consider, the moments when we experience genuine inner peace are frequently those characterized by profound quietude. These are the times when the internal noise subsides, allowing a sense of serene tranquility to wash over us. The absence of mental clamor allows us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level and truly appreciate the present moment. Therefore, cultivating calmness is not just about reducing stress, it is about enriching our lives with moments of profound peace and serenity, enhancing our overall well-being in immeasurable ways. These moments of quietude are priceless opportunities for reflection and rejuvenation. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of profound insight, possessed a deep understanding of a fundamental truth. They ardently championed the notion that true serenity, that elusive state of perfect tranquility, originates from within ourselves. It does not, they insisted, stem from the often tumultuous chaos of the external world, a world constantly bombarding us with stimuli. Therefore, when we consciously choose to diminish our engagement with the surrounding commotion and instead dedicate ourselves to cultivating our inner equilibrium, the world, remarkably, seems to lose its deafening roar and frenetic pace. Calmness and serenity are not merely agreeable states of mind, fleeting feelings to be savored, rather, they are potent instruments, formidable assets in navigating the complexities of life. By deliberately choosing to speak less and, conversely, to listen more attentively, we effectively fashion a sanctuary, a dedicated space wherein peace can flourish and expand. It is analogous to the experience of transitioning from a bustling city street, a cacophony of noise and activity, into the hushed stillness of a quiet library. Abruptly, the entire world undergoes a transformation, the tempo decelerates, and the rhythm of your breath deepens and slows. This, in essence, encapsulates the profound effect of embracing silence as a conscious practice in our everyday existence. When we consciously relinquish the ingrained compulsion to fill every void of silence with a barrage of words, we begin, perhaps for the first time, to genuinely appreciate the inherent richness and potential residing within quietude. Stoicism, as a philosophy and a way of life, instructs us that by exercising deliberate control over our immediate reactions to external events, we can effectively maintain a state of unwavering inner tranquility, irrespective of the ever-changing and often challenging circumstances that life throws our way. Imagine yourself immersed in a profoundly stressful situation, for instance, when a critical work deadline looms ominously on the horizon, and the associated pressure begins to mount exponentially. Instead of allowing yourself to become ensnared in a whirlwind of stress and a frantic, last-minute scramble, you consciously take a measured step back from the chaos. You take a deep, cleansing breath, you meticulously prioritize your various tasks, and you resolutely focus your attention on accomplishing one single, manageable objective at a time. By doing so, you reclaim control and preserve your inner peace. This focused approach allows one to maintain a sense of calm and purpose, even amidst the most demanding situations. Here's the Stoic method unfolding before us. It involves meticulously clearing the mind of distractions, simplifying the task at hand to its core elements, and then, most importantly, approaching it all with a tranquil and unwavering focus. The advantages derived from embracing this method are truly immense, extending far beyond mere coping mechanisms. Not only does it equip us to manage stress with greater efficacy, but it also profoundly elevates our overall sense of well-being, fostering a deeper sense of inner peace and contentment. When we cultivate a state of calmness and equanimity, we invariably become superior thinkers, more attentive listeners, and more adept problem solvers. Our minds are sharper, our judgments more sound, and our capacity for creative solutions greatly enhanced. Furthermore, we become more fully present in our relationships, engaging with loved ones with genuine attention and empathy. Consequently, we are better equipped to savor the simple pleasures that life offers, appreciating the beauty and wonder that often go unnoticed amidst the daily hustle. However, attaining serenity does not equate to passivity, rather, it signifies a proactive and deliberate engagement in the pursuit of inner peace. This active involvement requires conscious effort and dedication. By incorporating Stoic practices into our daily routine, such as the ancient art of meditation, the introspective practice of reflection, and the calming technique of mindful breathing, we steadily cultivate a tranquil and resilient mind. These practices serve as filters, helping us to sift through the cacophony of external noise and focus our attention on what truly holds significance in our lives. They impart the invaluable skill of responding thoughtfully, rather than merely reacting impulsively to external stimuli. The more we diligently practice these Stoic principles, the more instinctively we remain composed and undisturbed by the inevitable chaos and turbulence of everyday existence. As a result, the deeper and more abundant our inner well of serenity becomes, providing a constant source of strength and resilience. This newfound tranquility not only benefits us individually, improving our mental and emotional state, but it also radiates outward, positively influencing our immediate environment and the individuals who surround us. We become beacons of calmness, inspiring others to seek their own inner peace. Benefit number 3, amplifying focus and elevating productivity. Have you ever paused to consider the remarkable difference in your output when you are genuinely dialed into the task at hand, completely immersed in the present moment? It's a feeling of effortless flow, where time seems to fade away and ideas come freely. That sharp, crystal clear focus, the kind that bestows the empowering sensation of boundless potential, is not merely a matter of chance, rather, it represents a cultivated state of mind, attainable through conscious effort. In particular, drawing inspiration from the ancient Stoic philosophy can be remarkably beneficial. The Stoics, those paragons of self-mastery, placed immense emphasis on discerning the essential from the superfluous, advocating for a deliberate paring down to concentrate solely on matters of genuine significance. In our contemporary, hyper-connected world, distractions are not simply commonplace annoyances, they are, in fact, intricately woven into the very fabric of our daily existence. Our phones incessantly ping with notifications, a relentless stream of emails floods our inboxes, and social media feeds perpetually update, vying for our attention. However, envision a scenario wherein you could effectively diminish this cacophony of distractions. Visualize organizing your day in such a manner that you could dedicate your undivided attention to each individual task before progressing to the subsequent one. This, in essence, encapsulates the very heart of Stoic focus, the unwavering commitment to invest your complete and unadulterated attention into a singular endeavor at a time, striving for excellence in its execution. It's about being present in the moment and giving your best to what you're doing right now. This deliberate cultivation of singular focus naturally culminates in heightened productivity. When you abstain from dividing your attention across a multitude of concurrent tasks, you transcend the limitations of merely working harder, you begin to operate with a far greater degree of intelligence and efficiency. You start to discern subtleties and nuances that would inevitably elude your grasp when engaged in the detrimental practice of multitasking. Therefore, by embracing the Stoic principles of focused attention, you unlock a pathway to not only accomplishing more, but also to achieving a deeper sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in your endeavors. This approach allows for a more profound engagement with your work, fostering a sense of purpose and accomplishment that is often absent in the scattered landscape of modern multitasking. By honing our self-command, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and determination. Stoicism, therefore, provides valuable insights into how we can cultivate this essential skill. When you are not consistently switching your focus between multiple things, you can address challenges with greater efficacy and devise more effective solutions. Indeed, because your mind is not flitting from one thing to another, you are able to solve problems more efficiently and come up with better solutions. The Stoics, those profound thinkers of antiquity, impart the wisdom that by eliminating unnecessary thoughts and actions, we liberate our mental resources, making them available for important tasks. This is a powerful notion. This does not imply neglecting your duties, rather, it suggests establishing a hierarchy of priorities so that you manage them sequentially, dedicating your complete attention to each. For example, when undertaking a project, you could divide it into achievable segments and define explicit objectives for each session. This organized strategy diminishes the sense of being overwhelmed and renders substantial tasks more manageable. Think of it as conquering a mountain one step at a time. Furthermore, the practice of Stoicism cultivates resilience, enabling us to resist distractions. By nurturing inner discipline, we train ourselves to remain focused on the task at hand, even when temptations present themselves. We develop a heightened awareness of our urges to check our phones or surf the internet, and we learn to pause, acknowledge the distraction for what it is, and then redirect our attention back to our task with renewed concentration. This, in turn, strengthens our capacity to concentrate. Benefit 4. Boosts self-control. Self-control is one of those superpowers that seems almost mythical, isn't it? It's the ability to rein in impulses, to make choices that align with our long-term goals, and to resist the allure of immediate gratification. This mastery over oneself is not mere fantasy, it is a skill that can be cultivated, honed, and wielded with increasing effectiveness through the application of Stoic principles. By honing our self-command, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and determination. Stoicism, therefore, provides valuable insights into how we can cultivate this essential skill. It feels as though each instance where we successfully decline that additional portion of dessert or embrace a pre-dawn exercise routine, we are, in essence, unlocking a remarkable potential within ourselves. But what if I were to reveal that self-control extends far beyond simply resisting enticements? It encompasses a much broader scope. Indeed, aligning with the tenets of Stoic philosophy, it involves skillfully managing our responses to the external world in a manner congruent with our most profound principles. The Stoics, those ancient luminaries of self-discipline, held a steadfast belief that virtue paved the road to true happiness, and that self-control served as a cornerstone of that journey. Their philosophy did not advocate for a life devoid of pleasure, rather, it emphasized the importance of consciously choosing not to succumb to overpowering emotions capable of clouding judgment and leading to regrettable choices, ultimately resulting in unhappiness. This very principle underpinned their practice of moderation in all aspects of life, encompassing both their emotional responses and their physical actions. Consequently, they understood the profound power of balance. Their approach wasn't about rigid denial, but about conscious selection. They aimed to live deliberately. They acknowledged that fleeting pleasures could quickly turn into sources of long-term regret. In the present day, cultivating self-control can represent the pivotal element distinguishing between being easily diverted by every minor distraction that crosses our path and remaining resolutely focused on achieving our personal and professional goals. Therefore, Developing this quality is not just beneficial, it is essential for a fulfilling and successful life. It allows us to navigate the complexities of the modern world with clarity and purpose, ensuring that we remain true to our values and ambitions. Moreover, by mastering our impulses, we empower ourselves to make choices that align with our long-term well-being. Consider, for a moment, the frequency with which we find ourselves diverted from crucial endeavors by distractions that, while less significant, offer immediate satisfaction. Each instance where you consciously opt to concentrate on your work, rather than succumbing to the allure of checking your phone, represents an active exercise in self-control. This very discipline has a direct and profound impact on both our productivity and, indeed, our overall capacity to realize our aspirations. Consequently, as you fortify your self-control, you are not merely amplifying your ability to engage in uninterrupted work. You are also, and perhaps more importantly, elevating your aptitude for critical thinking and fostering the skill to make decisions unclouded by the ephemeral influence of fleeting emotions. This is undeniably essential, primarily because emotions, while powerful motivators of action, can, when left unchecked and unbridled, lead us down paths we might later regret. They can be potent forces, but need careful management. Stoicism, that ancient philosophy of inner peace and resilience, offers a wealth of practical methodologies for amplifying self-control. For instance, the practice of mindfulness can prove instrumental in cultivating a heightened awareness of our inherent impulses. This heightened awareness, in turn, empowers us to respond thoughtfully, rather than merely reacting impulsively. Therefore, by consciously taking a moment to pause whenever an impulse strikes, we afford ourselves the precious space and opportunity to deliberately choose a response. This response, ideally, should be one that aligns seamlessly with our overarching goals and deeply held values. In practical terms, this might manifest as taking a few deep, calming breaths when feeling overwhelmed by a task, or perhaps stepping back momentarily to carefully assess whether our intended next action will ultimately facilitate, or conversely, hinder our progress towards our objectives. Thus, Stoicism teaches us to be masters of our own impulses, not slaves to them. Cultivating a profound sense of inner peace and contentment forms the bedrock of enhanced self-control. As our proficiency in managing impulses and regulating reactions grows, we discover ourselves not just more productive, but also significantly more fulfilled. We become less susceptible to the whims of fluctuating emotions, and instead, find ourselves attuned to a more consistent and harmonious way of life. Therefore, by mastering our inner selves, we unlock a greater capacity for both achievement and happiness. Benefit 5. Communicate more effectively. Indeed, communication serves as the very adhesive that binds our social structure. Whether it entails a casual conversation with a friend, a detailed project discussion at work, or even a high-stakes negotiation, the manner in which we articulate our thoughts and feelings wields immense influence over the final result. Now, Stoicism might not immediately spring to mind when considering communication skills, but its relevance is undeniable. The Stoics placed great emphasis on the notion that the delivery of our message is just as important, if not more so, than the message itself. They firmly believed in the power of measured and thoughtful expression, which is, without a doubt, essential for clear and impactful communication. This echoes through the ages, emphasizing the enduring wisdom of their approach. So, how exactly does adopting a Stoic philosophy aid us in communicating more effectively? It all boils down to a conscious effort to temper our reactions and choose our words with deliberate care. Furthermore, understanding that we can't control everything, especially other people's reactions, allows us to communicate from a place of calm and clarity. Ultimately, Stoicism empowers us to navigate even the most challenging conversations with grace and poise, transforming potential conflicts into opportunities for understanding and connection. This, in turn, strengthens our relationships and fosters a more harmonious environment, both personally and professionally. First and foremost, Stoicism imparts a profound lesson on the importance of attentive listening. Seneca, one of the most eminent Stoic philosophers, articulated this brilliantly, stating, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, therefore, we should listen twice as much as we speak." This piece of wisdom serves as invaluable counsel in any form of dialogue. Active listening enables us to genuinely grasp the other individual's viewpoint, moving beyond simply awaiting our opportunity to interject. Consequently, this demonstrates respect and fosters more productive and meaningful exchanges. When one authentically listens, the responses offered are more considered, which, in turn, significantly elevates the overall quality of interactions. Moreover, the tenets of Stoicism explicitly encourage us to prioritize lucidity and succinctness in our verbal expressions. The Stoics harbored little fondness for aimless digressions or speech lacking a clear objective. They deeply valued the skill of articulating thoughts concisely and with precision, cutting through unnecessary noise to deliver messages in a manner readily comprehensible to the recipient. This does not advocate for being abrasive or impolite. Instead, it is about displaying mindfulness of the listener's time and attention. By carefully selecting our words and ensuring they accurately represent our intended meaning, we mitigate the potential for misunderstandings, thereby enhancing the efficacy of our communication. Furthermore, there exists the quintessential Stoic conviction in maintaining composure even under duress, a characteristic that proves to be an exceptional asset, a veritable superpower, particularly when navigating challenging and sensitive conversations. Keeping calm allows for rational thinking and prevents emotional reactions that can escalate conflict. Envision yourself embroiled in a passionate debate. The Stoic methodology in such a scenario advocates for upholding your composure and preventing emotions from dominating your rationality. This doesn't suggest the repression of feelings, rather, it emphasizes their constructive regulation. By preserving tranquility, you ensure the ongoing productivity of the conversation, thereby unlocking opportunities for resolutions instead of exacerbating conflicts. It's essentially choosing to respond with logic rather than reacting impulsively driven by emotions. Integrating these time-honored Stoic tenets into your everyday interactions transcends merely refining your speaking and listening abilities. It fundamentally reshapes your dialogues into more substantial and gratifying exchanges. Therefore, adopting a Stoic communication style can elevate your relationships and foster more collaborative environment. Whether navigating domestic spheres with companions or operating within professional settings in the workplace, efficacious communication cultivates stronger bonds, facilitates seamless cooperation, and encourages a profound comprehension of others' perspectives. It's centered on ensuring that each word resonates with significance and that every interaction holds value. A Stoic approach, thus, contributes to a more harmonious and productive life. Benefit 6. Cultivate respect from others. Respect represents a precious currency in life, one that defies purchase and necessitates earning. This earning process often unfolds through the subtle artistry of our demeanor and interactions with the world and people around us. Embracing Stoicism, with its emphasis on reason, self-control, and mindful communication, lays the foundation for commanding the respect of those we encounter. When we approach conversations with calmness, listening intently and responding thoughtfully, we project an aura of competence and maturity. This, in turn, fosters an environment of respect, where our opinions are valued, and our presence is appreciated. Therefore, by embodying Stoic principles, we not only improve our communication but also cultivate the esteem of others, solidifying our standing within both personal and professional realms. Stoicism, fascinatingly, presents a robust and effective collection of strategies for organically gaining respect. Philosophers of Stoicism, such as Marcus Aurelius, firmly held the belief that respect is derived from intrinsic personal integrity and the capacity to preserve one's composure, especially when confronted with challenging situations. Their accumulated wisdom suggests that through the deliberate nurturing of a serene attitude and considered, thoughtful conduct, we inherently command respect from the individuals who surround us. Thus, Stoicism offers a pathway not to demand respect, but to earn it through self-mastery and ethical behavior. Envision yourself entering a room charged with palpable tension, where individuals are visibly anxious, and perhaps vocal disagreements are escalating. Now, visualize yourself responding not with equivalent agitation or heightened emotions, but rather with a serene and collected disposition. This specific type of response doesn't merely serve to alleviate or diffuse the immediate tension that permeates the atmosphere. Significantly, it also captures the attention of those present. Consequently, it prompts them to consider, here is someone who is demonstrably in control of themselves and the situation. When you react with poise and equilibrium as opposed to succumbing to panic or impulsive reactions, you exhibit qualities of leadership that spontaneously inspire people to respect and place trust in your sound judgment. Furthermore, the philosophical framework of Stoicism imparts the essential significance of unwavering consistency in both our actions and our verbal communication. Consistency is unequivocally paramount in the establishment of trust, and trust, in turn, constitutes the very bedrock upon which respect is constructed. Therefore, by aligning our deeds with our words, we not only build credibility but also demonstrate a steadfastness that resonates with others, fostering deeper respect and admiration. The very essence of Stoic philosophy encourages us to be authentic and reliable, thus, inevitably earning us the respect we desire. When individuals possess a clear understanding of your expectations and witness your adherence to your guiding principles, irrespective of circumstances, their esteem for you invariably grows. This isn't merely about verbal assurances, it's about demonstrably embodying your values. Should you consistently embrace and implement Stoic ideals, encompassing virtues like fairness, patience, and unwavering self-control, individuals will be significantly more disposed to hold you in high regard, recognizing these admirable qualities manifested in your actions. Thus, your actions speak louder than any declaration. Furthermore, there exists the vital dimension of judicious communication. Stoic philosophy places significant emphasis on the crucial practice of contemplative thought before engaging in verbal expression. This ensures that when words are ultimately uttered, they are imbued with profound meaning and deliberate consideration. In a modern world often characterized by a cacophony of voices vying for attention, carefully curating one's words can be a remarkably effective strategy for distinguishing oneself. Therefore, choosing your words deliberately can set you apart. When you choose to vocalize your thoughts and your words consistently mirror wisdom and penetrating insight, individuals are far more inclined to lend a receptive ear and deeply value your contributions. This thoughtful approach not only cultivates profound respect but also establishes you as a perceptive leader or an invaluable colleague. Finally, the cultivation of respect through the lens of Stoicism also centers on extending respect to others. It's an inherently reciprocal dynamic. By actively demonstrating respect for the diverse ideas, feelings, and contributions of those around you, you actively foster a harmonious and respectful environment. Therefore, demonstrating respect for others cultivates a respectful environment. This in turn, cultivates a cycle of mutual admiration and collaborative spirit, strengthening relationships and fostering a positive atmosphere. Mutual respect, therefore, serves as the cornerstone for not only stronger personal connections but also for the cultivation of a more uplifting and fruitful community, irrespective of whether it is within a professional environment or woven into the fabric of our personal lives. Benefit number 7. Embrace a life of deeper meaning and elegant simplicity. Isn't it fascinating to observe how, occasionally, the act of shedding superfluities unveils a sense of profound abundance? Stoicism imparts to us precisely this invaluable lesson, that a life characterized by simplicity is not merely about possessing fewer material things. Rather, it is about consciously carving out space for a greater abundance of those elements that genuinely elevate and enrich our existence. This involves a process of decluttering that extends beyond the physical realm, penetrating into the domains of our minds and our emotional landscapes. This profound philosophy propels us to resolutely concentrate on our fundamental values and our most pressing priorities, diligently pruning away those distractions that contribute nothing of substance to our overall well-being. The Stoics, visionaries such as Epictetus, ardently believe that true liberation emanates from within. It springs forth from our innate capacity to govern our reactions to the world that envelopes us, rather than allowing ourselves to be governed by it. By consciously diminishing our desires to encompass only the essential, the indispensable, and by channeling our energies toward those aspects over which we wield control, our thoughts, our actions, and our subsequent responses, we are empowered to lead lives imbued with greater significance, a sense of purpose, and a profound tranquility. This, in turn, fosters a deeper connection with ourselves and the world around us, allowing us to experience a more meaningful and simpler life, rich with inner peace and genuine fulfillment. This journey of simplification allows us to fully appreciate the beauty of the present moment, unburdened by excessive desires and anxieties about the future. Envision a life where each day unfolds with unwavering clarity of purpose, where your energies are channeled into endeavors that resonate profoundly with your core values. This experience transcends mere liberation, it culminates in a deep and enduring sense of fulfillment. From a pragmatic standpoint, embracing a more streamlined and purposeful existence entails making deliberate decisions regarding the allocation of your precious time and vital energy. It requires a candid self-assessment, prompting you to evaluate whether each activity or commitment propels you closer to your envisioned ideal life, or whether it merely serves as a temporal filler. For instance, this might translate to prioritizing quality time with your family members over attending yet another networking function, or electing to immerse yourself in an enlightening book instead of succumbing to the allure of aimless scrolling through the endless feeds of social media platforms. Furthermore, the pursuit of a simplified lifestyle cultivates within us a profound sense of gratitude for the abundance that already surrounds us. Stoicism, a philosophy often associated with austerity, does not advocate for the rejection of joy or pleasure. On the contrary, it illuminates the path to discovering joy in the unadulterated pleasures that simplicity inherently offers. There exists a profound and enriching joy in savoring the seemingly unremarkable moments that compose the tapestry of our daily lives, the tranquility of a quiet morning accompanied by a steaming cup of coffee, the infectious laughter of a cherished loved one resonating through the air, the serene peace that envelopes you during a contemplative walk immersed in the embrace of nature. These are the building blocks of a life lived with intention and joy. Thus, by embracing simplicity, we open ourselves to a richer, more meaningful existence. It's about finding contentment in the everyday and appreciating the beauty that surrounds us, often overlooked in the hustle and bustle of modern life. As we cease the relentless pursuit of accumulating more possessions, more accomplishments, and more commitments, we unlock the capacity to truly savor life's authentic moments. This shift in perspective, embracing the philosophy of less, allows us to appreciate the subtle beauty that often goes unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of modern existence. This principle of simplicity transcends mere material possessions, it permeates our interpersonal relationships and dictates how we navigate the inevitable trials and tribulations life throws our way. Stoicism, a timeless philosophy, furnishes us with the tools to confront life's intricate challenges with unwavering composure and a steadfast hand. Therefore, by streamlining our internal landscape, by minimizing the mental clutter that clouds our judgment, we are demonstrably better equipped to manage the external pandemonium that surrounds us. Challenges, once perceived as insurmountable obstacles, become significantly less intimidating. This is because our perspective has undergone a fundamental transformation, focusing our attention on the aspects within our sphere of influence, those elements we possess the agency to alter. Consequently, we learn to relinquish our grip on the rest, accepting what lies beyond our control with equanimity and grace. As we draw the curtain on our examination of Stoic tenets, it becomes abundantly clear that the inherent power of less is not predicated on self-deprivation. Quite the contrary, it is about enriching our lives in profound and meaningful ways. Embracing less material clutter, less distracting noise, less unnecessary busyness that consumes our precious time, effectively clears the path, opening up expansive space for more. More focused attention, more inner peace, and more meaningful interactions with those who hold a special place in our hearts. It's fundamentally about making deliberate and intentional choices, decisions that are meticulously aligned with our deepest and most cherished values. It is about consciously letting go of the superfluous, the extraneous, and the ultimately unimportant. This considered approach doesn't merely simplify our lives, it amplifies them exponentially, bringing into sharp and vivid relief what truly matters in the grand tapestry of existence. Remember, the transformative journey toward embracing the philosophy of less is not about attaining an unattainable state of perfection overnight. It is not a race to be won, but a process to be savored, a continuous and evolving practice that requires patience, self-compassion, and a steadfast commitment to living a life of purpose and meaning. Embarking on a journey towards Stoic simplicity is akin to navigating a gradual and transformative process of adjustment and profound understanding. This path, meticulously paved by your own experiences, unfolds as you progressively discern the true significance of less in your personal sphere. It's fundamentally about discovering your unique equilibrium, that delicate balance between decisive action and thoughtful contemplation, between the power of articulate speech and the serenity of purposeful silence, and ultimately, between the allure of abundance and the understated elegance of simplicity. Each deliberate step taken along this illuminating path has the potential to catalyze profound and lasting alterations in the very fabric of your perception and interaction with the world around you. Therefore, the insights gained can reshape your understanding of your place within the larger universe. A heartfelt thank you for joining me today on this exploration at. Your presence and engagement are deeply valued. If you discovered that this exploration into the core tenets of Stoic simplicity resonated with you and provided valuable enlightenment, I encourage you to further enrich your knowledge. Consequently, do not forget to watch the suggested video, which is conveniently appearing on your screen at this very moment. This curated content offers further penetrating insights into how these enduring and time-tested ancient principles can be skillfully applied to the multifaceted challenges of contemporary life. In essence, it provides a practical bridge between the wisdom of the past and the demands of the present. Remember, the seemingly paradoxical truth that less can, indeed, be profoundly more. Embrace the concept and let it guide your decisions. Let us, therefore, continue this shared journey together, united in our pursuit of finding unwavering strength in the quiet power of simplicity and discovering enduring wisdom in the tranquil embrace of inner peace. By embracing these values, we can navigate the complexities of life with greater resilience and grace.